Recently, the Baltic fleet's Bastion coastal defense missile systems wiped out a notional enemy's warships during a tactical exercise in Russia's westernmost Kaliningrad region, the fleet's press office reported on Thursday. During the drills, teams of Bastion coastal defense missile systems conducted electronic launches by Onyx anti-ship missiles against notional targets in the Baltic Sea, simulating a hypothetical enemy's naval group, the press office said in a statement. During the drills, Bastion mobile missile launchers were deployed in the designated area with equipped positions after a multi-kilometer march. Pursuant to the instructions received, the missile crews stealthily changed their firing positions after conducting electronic launches against the simulated enemy's warships, it specified. In accomplishing missile launches, the Bastion missile system crews also dealt with the objectives of camouflaging equipment and carrying out anti-saboteur measures at the places of their combat duty, the press office said. The drills involved about 50 personnel and up to 10 pieces of military hardware, it said. Combat teams of the Baltic Fleet's Bastion coastal defense missile systems are on constant combat alert to protect and defend the regional coastline and Russia's exclusive economic zone in the Kaliningrad area, the press office said. The Bastion is a coastal defense missile system designed to strike enemy surface ships of various classes and types, making part of amphibious assault forces, convoys, surface action and carrier strike groups, and also sole warships and ground radio contrast targets under intensive fire and jamming. A Bastion missile launcher carries Onyx supersonic missiles with a firing range of 300 to 500 kilometers, according to various sources. The launch interval is 2.5 seconds. An Onyx missile flies at 2.5 times the speed of sound. Earlier, President Vladimir Putin warned Wednesday that Russia could provide long-range weapons to others to strike Western targets in response to NATO allies allowing Ukraine to use their arms to attack Russian territory. Putin also reaffirmed Moscow's readiness to use nuclear weapons if it sees a threat to its sovereignty. The recent actions by the West will further undermine international security and could lead to very serious problems, he said, taking questions from international journalists, something that has become extremely rare since Moscow sent troops into Ukraine. That would mark their direct involvement in the war against the Russian Federation, and we reserve the right to act the same way, Putin added. The United States and Germany recently authorized Ukraine to hit some targets on Russian soil with the long-range weapons they are supplying to Kyiv. On Wednesday, a Western official and a U.S. senator said Ukraine has used U.S. weapons to strike inside Russia under newly approved guidance from President Joe Biden that allows American arms to be used for the limited purpose of defending Kharkiv, Ukraine's second-largest city. The official was not authorized to comment publicly on the sensitive matter and spoke on condition of anonymity. Putin claimed that using some Western-supplied weapons involves military personnel of those countries controlling the missiles and selecting targets, and therefore he said Moscow could take asymmetrical steps elsewhere in the world. The The U.S. military said it does not control the missiles it provides to Ukraine or the targets.
Действительным объектом тех стран, которые делают это в отношении России.
If they consider it possible to deliver such weapons to the combat zone to launch strikes on our territory and create problems for us, why don't we have the right to supply weapons of the same type to some regions of the world where they can be used to launch strikes on sensitive facilities of the countries that do it to Russia, he said. We will think about it, he told the journalists on the sidelines of the annual St. Petersburg International Economic Forum. Asked whether Russia could resort to using nuclear arms, Putin said the conditions for utilizing that arsenal are clearly spelled out in Moscow's security doctrine. For some reason, they believe in the West that Russia will never use it, he said. Look at what is written there, he said of Russia's nuclear doctrine. If somebody's actions threaten our sovereignty and territorial integrity, we consider it possible to use all means at our disposal.
Any further aggression. We would like to be in a situation where relations with Russia are good, but this is very much depending on the choice.
Even Russia's battlefield nuclear weapons are much more powerful than what the U.S. used against Japan in World War II, Putin said. Speaking to senior news leaders of international news agencies, including the Associated Press, for more than 3 hours, Putin also said nothing will change in terms of Russia-US relations regardless of whether Biden or Donald Trump wins the American presidential election in November. We will work with any president the American people elect, Putin said.
Made by Moscow. So let there be no doubt, if Russia were to move against Ukraine, the Union